welcome back to another video. I know it's been a while since I posted a video, but today we have the 2017 Q5 and we're looking for a specific code. The symptoms this Q5 was having was it was shaking when idling. Obviously when the vehicle was warmed up, it wouldn't go past like a certain RPM, but it definitely felt like a misfire. But there was literally no check engine light, so plugged in the scanner, there was a soft code stored into the ECU. So let me show you that code. All right, so this is the code we're dealing with right now. It is a P164E00. I actually had another code. It was for a crankcase. I actually was able to reset all the codes, and the only code that kind of stood was this one. It's not gonna go anywhere, so it's definitely an issue that's present. So let's look into it. All right, so I initially check these sensors. There's two of these. There's one on one side and then the other side is on the other side of the bank, which is right here. So it'll be bank 1 and bank 2 over there. I took them off, cleaned them up, I bench tested. I was getting about 8 point something ohms. Both of them were reading the exact same number, so I kind of knew that was not the issue. Like I said, it doesn't hurt to test every single component before you start throwing parts at it. Again, this is a 3.0 V6 out of the Q5, and again, I was doing more research on this engine, and I know we have another sensor. I was having a very hard time trying to locate this sensor. Literally spent about a full hour going through the entire engine bay, left and right, underneath, and I actually found what I was looking for. All right, so here are my parts. I actually ordered some VVT solenoids as well. I'm gonna just replace the actual O-rings on the ones that I removed from the top, just because when I went on the SCP Euro website, these Febi sensors, they're made in China, so I can't trust that. The only thing I'm gonna use is the O-ring. So only O-rings we're gonna use. This is the one we were looking for. Actually, not this one. This is the sensor we were looking for. And I actually found it after a full hour. Let me show you guys where this sensor is actually located and how to go about to getting it out. All right, guys, before I show you the location, I spent a lot of time locating this issue, so I would really appreciate you guys if you would hit the like, subscribe, so I can make more videos on this. So let's go. First off, jack up your car or put it on ramps. Remove the underneath pan, the belly pan, and let me show you. All right, we're underneath the car. We are actually on the driver's side. This is the wheel, control arms. There's gonna be a heat shield, which I already moved to the side. It's gonna look something like that on this side. See how that lined up? I actually took it off, moved it to the side, and then let me show you. Once you remove the heat shield, we're actually facing the front of the car. You're gonna have a gap right here. All right, this is where you're gonna stick your hand. Then you're gonna see that sensor I'm talking about. Look. Let me zoom in 1 second. All right, you see that sensor over there? I already disconnected it. You need a 90-degree pick to take that connector off. So be very careful not to break that tab. Literally, you can squeeze your hand in there. Let me show you. It's gonna be very tight, so let me show you. All right, so once you take that connector off with the 90-degree pick, take the connector off. Obviously, you'll be able to access to take the connector off with your hand. When you insert it in there, you'll feel the sensor off. Then on the side, there is a T27 bolt like this. You're gonna need an extension with a wobble socket and a flashlight, but definitely your axis will be through here. Right, once you take the bolt off, use a magnetic holder to get the bolt out, and then you'll use a pair of channel locks to kind of push up and remove it out. I already have this removed. I mean, show you real quick what I'm talking about. Alrighty. Here it is. So here's the sensor we actually pulled out from behind the oil pan on top. It sits right above. Like I said, you gotta stick your hand in there, take that T27 bolt off, and then obviously taking the connector off is the hardest part without breaking that tab. Once you get that done, literally probably took me about an hour to do that. But then after you do that, get yourself a pair of channel locks, and you can actually use this sensor to kind of gauge how wide you gotta go. That's what I did. So I set it like that. I was able to get my form, and then I stuck my hand in there, grabbed it. Obviously it's gonna be straight when you do that, so, and then you wiggle and it should come off. That's how I did it. So I've seen other videos where people have to take the AC compressor to move it to the side, move the oil cooler. You don't need to do that. You don't have to spend the extra money. Move that heat shield, move it to the side, make some space. You're able to put your hand in there. That's the tightest spot, taking the connector off and taking the bolt off. And then if you have a pair of pliers, you're able to take the sensor off. So let's bench test this and see what ohms we're getting. All right, so let's go ahead and test the old solenoid with the multimeter, set it to ohms. Oh, you guys can see right there. All right, the resistance is pretty high. It's 1153. Shouldn't be at that. Now let's test the new one. This is the new one. 22.5, 23. Now that's where it should be reading. The other one was way too high. Yep, this is a good one. All right, let's go ahead and install this sensor and see what happens. Before installing the sensor, don't forget to lube up the O-ring with any engine oil you have around. And then when you have that inserted, put your bolt on. This is where you're gonna use a T27. Put a little piece of paper towel to hold the bolt, and then this Wobble socket as well. But this one kind of moves a lot on me, so I'm gonna put tape around here so it doesn't move too much on me. That way I can go in there and start the bolt off. All right, so looking back in there, that's where the sensor right there is going, right in that opening, and then right next to it is where the bolt goes. So let me put the sensor in there and I'll bring you right back. This is the setup I have. Ratchet, 2 long extensions going all the way down. Let me just focus. Wobble socket, and I'm already done tightening it up. So all I have to do is connect the connector and we're done here. I'm gonna go ahead and put the shield back, see if I can remember how I put this back. We are done with installing the sensor. Again, it was a little challenge getting in there. It was a little tricky, tight spot. Again, you don't have to remove that AC compressor to the side, oil cooler, leave all that stuff in there. Do it this way, you're gonna save a lot of money, especially on seals and stuff like that. I'm gonna go ahead and replace the O-rings for those sensors that I removed because I thought it was one of those. Again, but I should have thought about it, because if it was one of those sensors, VVT, you would have had at least, you know, VVT oil, you know, control bank 1 or bank 2, and I didn't have none of those banks, so that tells me it was the bottom sensor. So I'm gonna go ahead and replace the O-ring real quick on both sensors. I'm not gonna install these just because I kind of trust the old stuff that's in there. It's Audi and this is made in China, so let's go ahead and do that, reset the codes, and let's see if it solved our issue. Let's go ahead and start the car. Control modules, engine. Let's go ahead and erase that. back into the read codes. Guys, there's no codes. Before I would try to do this, it will stay put. The code would not leave. So let's turn off the car, we scan the car, and see if we have the code. All right, we scan the car again. It takes forever. And now we got the PCV regulator valve. I really don't want to get that one done, but this one's a totally different issue. This one's a PCV, and this one's a big job. We're gonna have to do this one in another video. So at least we got rid of the P164E00. So if you guys found this video helpful, please hit the like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.